I'm Angela Lin, and I solve your social media problems. Now, in this third video of this training series on how to consistently generate more prospects and sales in less time using LinkedIn, we're going to be talking about the 3 mistakes or misconceptions that you might be making on LinkedIn, which is causing you to lose out on prospects and sales. And I want to help you avoid that, or how to fix it if you're currently making those mistakes right now. So we're going to be talking about that in this video. Now, before I get into that, I just want to thank you if you've made an investment in yourself to actually take those 3 simple changes that you can do in less than 10 minutes, implement it so that you can start actually having more prospects find you and connect with you. And I've gotten a lot of feedback and comments thanking me about how easy and quick it was to actually just take those 3 simple changes and do that. And I've received comments about how powerful the strategy was. And even though it was powerful, it was really easy to do. So that's what I'm here for, to really help you really just focus in on what are the most important steps to take that will allow you to get the greatest return on investment. So let's dive right in terms of the 3 mistakes that you might be making on LinkedIn, which is causing you to lose out on business, prospects, and sales. Let's go see right on the screen what those mistakes are. Okay, now what I want to cover are the 3 myths that might be causing you to lose out on leads and prospects and traffic from LinkedIn. Alright, these might be misconceptions that you have about LinkedIn, which is really causing you to lose business in terms of there's all these prospects on LinkedIn that you aren't accessing because you might have these misconceptions. So let's talk about them. I wanted to share these with you because it's quite valuable, that I find, to really help you figure out what not to do. So mistakes, or myth number 1, is that LinkedIn takes up a lot of time. So a lot of time people will compare LinkedIn to other social media sites that they might know, so such as Twitter or Facebook, whereby it seems like everybody's updating all the time, and a lot of times I'll talk to people and they'll say, wow, you know what, that takes up too much time, and I just simply don't have that much time to spend on Facebook or Twitter. And LinkedIn, is it like that? I think it's going to be like that. And the truth is, if you have a system to generate prospects and you have strategies for how to succeed, you only need a few hours a week. That's right, a few hours a week. Not a few hours a day, a few hours a week. And I was working a full-time job of 40 to 80 hours. And on top of that, I was studying for 10 hours for accounting each week. So the truth is, if you have a system set up and you delegate it, for actual prospect generation, whereby I'm really just focusing on, all right, here's the people who've expressed interest and told me what their problems are with using LinkedIn to grow their business and grow their prospects list. And I focus on that and getting back to them and building that relationship. I actually spend less than 8 hours a week, and my business is focused on LinkedIn. All right? So I want to get that message across, because a lot of times people have this misconception that social media is going to take up a lot of time. And it could, if you don't know how to use it properly. But what I want to show you in this webinar is how you can use it properly to set up a system for yourself so that you can have more time to really do the things that you want and not just be bogged down by all these details. Now, the other thing that people ask is, well, how much content do I need to create on LinkedIn? And because it seems like people are always constantly putting out status updates and content, all of that. That, again, also seems like taking up a lot of time. And what I tell people is that content creation, it is important, yes. But more importantly, Your focus should be on relationship building with qualified prospects and finding out what problems they have that you may help them with. Alright? Especially in B2B sales, you need to figure out what's their specific problem because they're thinking in terms of business. Alright? How can you help them solve their big problems? And how can you customize your solution for them so that they know it's tailored and specific towards solving their problem? The personal attention that you give to them, as perceived by your prospects, will increase the chances of scheduling a meeting with them and making that presentation to them towards how you can help them solve their problems with your products and services. Now, mistake or myth number 2 is that it's hard to grow a prospects list if you don't have lots of connections already. Sort of like the idea of how you need money to make money, you know? That seems like logical, right? It's going to be really hard to grow your connections, and especially connections to key decision makers and key qualified prospects if you don't have lots of connections right now. Well, the truth is, remember, building a qualified prospects list works even if you don't have lots of connections to decision makers right now. My client only had 230 connections, but she was still able to get 93 qualified prospects in just 1 week to join her list. And people will say yes to becoming your qualified prospects if you position yourself as somebody able to help them with their big problems. So the key to this is having an optimized profile and optimized presence that shows what people should come to you for, why somebody should trust and start connecting with you, and what problems do you help them solve. Alright, that's the big key factor. Even if you don't have that many connections, how you can still build that relationship with lots of qualified prospects if you can really pinpoint what are the problems that you really help them solve. Now, people have this idea where they think that they need connections already to really grow their connection base. It's sort of like that idea where you're thinking, okay, to get rich, I need money to make money, right? And so if I'm poor right now, there's no way that I'm going to be rich. And that's what sometimes people are approaching LinkedIn as well. They're like, you know what, I don't have that many connections. Maybe I only have 5 or 10. And I need more connections to really grow my base, to connect to more people, right? And it's really, really hard for me to get to that 500 plus connection mark. I mean, sure, Angela, like, you know all the strategies. So, and you're in social media marketing, so people are going to connect with you on LinkedIn because they think that you know about LinkedIn. Sure, it's easy for you to do that. But for me, you know what? I'm not a LinkedIn specialist. I'm not in social media. It's hard for me to get to that 500 plus mark. And what I want to share with you is that it's actually not hard, okay? There's tons of people who will automatically connect with you on LinkedIn. And that means they will bring you to even more connections who are your prospects, alright? So it's not hard, and this is regardless of what your current connections are right now. So I'm going to show you how you can get to that 500 plus connections really, really, really fast, okay? Are you ready for this? Alright, so what I want you to do is go into LinkedIn, go under interests, and then search for groups, or actually you can just type up here, just have that drop down, groups. Type in Open Networker, alright? Open Networker. Now hit search, and these are the results that show up in terms of groups. Now what I want you to see here is there's these various top 3. So toplink.com, Open Link Network, Lion500.com. Alright, so if you'll see this top group, there's 140,000 members, alright? So what do all of these 140,000 members want? Well, it says it's the open networking group on LinkedIn. And that means if you go into this group, you join. Alright, so after you join, then you go into their members. and then you send out a connection invitation to them by selecting that you guys are both groups of this group. Then what those potential people that you want to connect with, they will quickly accept your invitation, all right? Regardless of how many connections you have right now. Why? Because they're open networking. They are open to having more people connect with them on LinkedIn. So to really help you grow your connections so that you can reach more prospects and that you can rank higher in terms of search results, because now that you have more connections, LinkedIn thinks you should be ranked higher in search results. So join this group and start inviting people to connect with you. All right, you can simply go down the list and click, connect, and just send out invitations to 500 people. And pretty soon, you're going to see these people accept your invitations to really start accelerating your connection base. All right? So, if you think you can't do this, you can. It's really easy for you to do. You just click. All right? Join and then click to send out invitations. Now, mistake or myth number 3 is that if I ask you a question right now, all right? So, should I offer my services or products to prospects whom I've never contacted before on LinkedIn? All right. If I asked you that question, would your answer be yes or no? So some of you might say yes. Let them know about how great my business is at helping them right away. And some of you might say no. It's considered spamming them. And both of you are partially correct. So how can that be? How can it be a yes and no answer? Well, the truth is, offering to help prospects on LinkedIn with your services or products is valuable to them. All right? It's valuable to them if you know their problem that requires your solutions. So let me give you an example. If you directly go up to a complete stranger and you say, "Marry me. We're perfect for each other. I love you so much. I know we're a perfect fit for each other," you'll probably scare them off and they'll probably run away and tell everybody that you're crazy. Now, what if you start instead by being a friend and asking them what they're looking for in a potential partner to marry, and then determine, well, which of these criteria do you fulfill? And if you fulfill some of them, then you try to ask them out on a first date and point out that you fulfill some of these criteria. Do you think that will work better? I think that will really help you be able to ask them to marry you in the end, because you're building that relationship with them and you're helping them fit something that is to their heart's desire. Now, same thing. If you directly go up to a person and say, "Buy my products" or "Buy my services," they'll likely think you're spamming. And the bad news is, if too many people on LinkedIn think you're spamming and they're reporting you as spamming, LinkedIn will shut down your account. All right? You don't want to do that. What if instead you start by asking them about something they're deeply interested in, their problems? All right? Even if it's a complete stranger, if I know that I have a problem and they can help me solve that problem, then I'm more likely to want to build a relationship with them. Then, once you figure out their problem, you want to determine how their problems relate to your services or products. Then you try to ask them to a meeting to show them how to solve their problems while tying in your services and products. Now, in the next email, I'm going to share with you what's that number 1 challenge to your business success on LinkedIn. What's that number 1 challenge that's standing in your way between you and the business success with more prospects and more sales in less time that you want? And the good news is, I'm going to show you 7 steps of how you can overcome that number 1 challenge. So make sure to watch out for that training in tomorrow's email. Please also post in the comment section below as to any comments or questions that you have about LinkedIn. I really want to know your problems, your frustrations, and questions about LinkedIn so that I can create more training to really help you get results that you want faster and easier. And the other thing that you could do is you can email me with your ideal clients or business partners that you want to reach on LinkedIn, as well as the top 3 problems or questions that you have about LinkedIn, so that I can really help you. And you can email me at info@linkedinleadstraffic.com so that I can truly help you. And until the next video, here's to you creating more business in less time so that you have the freedom to do what you love. Thank you so much.